Hi, MJ. I am Jasmine. I'm the nurse practitioner who will examine you today. But first, I'd like to ask your permission if we can record this session and download it on YouTube so that my instructor and my classmates can view it.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you, then. So, what brought you today to the clinic?
I've got this lower back pain for the last few days. I think I got it from work. I was trying to push a resident to the dining room. I could hear it crack and I've been in pain
Oh, I'm
ever
sorry
since.
about that. Did you take anything for the pain?
I'm taking Tylenol, ibuprofen, but it only works for a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So, to start with, may I examine your, so an examination of the hands, the fingers, and the wrist. There is no redness, no inflammation, no nodules. So I'd like to palpate. On palpation, there are no nodules, no tenderness, right?
Nope, everything's good.
So I'd like to check for the range of motion. If you can flex your fingers down, okay, and then extend, bring it up, and then spread your fingers, abduction, and put them together, adduction. Okay, so how about the wrist? If you can flex your wrist, and then extend, and then abduction, abduction, adduction, adduction. So no tenderness. So let me identify the anatomical snuff box. If you extend, so this is the anatomical snuff box. If there is fracture in your hand, this will be tender. So to check for the carpal tunnel syndrome, I'd like you to extend your hand, and if I tap this, because the median nerve passes through here, if I tap this, if you feel tenderness or tingling sensation, that is positive for carpal tunnel. So there's none, so that's okay. Another test is the Fallon's test. If you can put your hands together or put them and then push it. So if there's tenderness, that's positive Fallon's. That's also carpal tunnel. So we're done with that. So go into the elbows. On inspection, there's no redness, no inflammation, no swelling. The other side is the same. So on palpation, the prominent bone here is the olecranon process. And then this is the lateral epicondyle, the medial. So on palpation, there's no tenderness, no nodules. So identifying the olecranon process, the lateral epicondyle, and the medial. So no tenderness, no nodules. So going to the shoulders, on inspection, it's symmetrical. There's no lagging, no hanging down. So I'd like to palpate starting from the sternoclavicular notch, and then going lateral, running my finger to the top of the shoulder. So here I feel the acromion process, and then just medial to that is the acromioclavicular joint, and then from there going down is the deltopectoral groove here. So you have the coracoid process here, and then going lateral is the lesser tubercle, and then the greater tubercle. So we have here also the bicipital groove. And then I'd like to check for the range of motion. So if you can raise your arm high, So this is flexion, and then extension on the back, and then abduction away from the body, and adduction across the chest. And then for the internal rotation, if you can reach your scapula, and then for the external rotation, if you can scratch your neck. So there's no tenderness, right?
Mm-mm.
So for the Hawkins, if you can flex your arm across your chest, and then if I go like this, and if there's tenderness, so there is supraspinous impingement or rotator cuff tendonitis. So there's no tenderness,
Mm-mm.
so we're okay with that. So for the head and neck, on inspection, there is no abnormalities, no swelling, no nodules. If you can, I'd like to test for the range of motion. If you can put your chin to your chest, okay. Extend your head and move side to side. No, lateral bending. Okay, good. So for the TMJ, the joint here, temporomandibular joint, open your mouth wide. Okay, she's able to open her mouth wide. There's no tenderness. Okay. So for the spine, if we can stand up. So on inspection, the cervical area is a bit concave, and then the thoracic is convex, and then going to the lumbar is concave again. So it's like an S shape. So I'd like to palpate starting from the C7, the prominent bone here. I'd like to palpate going down, moving my 2 thumbs down, checking for any misalignment or tenderness.
It's kind of sore.
Is it sore here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And then palpating for the muscles around the spine.
Yeah, there too.
It's tender here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'd like to test for the range of motion. If you can bend and touch your toes.
I'm not sure if I can. It gets really stiff.
Oh, I'm sorry. So if you can extend,
Kind
reach,
of the same.
how about twist side to side?
Not
Twist.
comfortably.
Okay, lateral bending,
What's that?
lateral bending, side to side.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
So the patient is unable to do range of motion for the spine, so she complains of tenderness. If we can check your,
Okay.
if you can lie down, check the hips. Lie down. So I'd like to test for the range of motion of the hips. This is to raise the legs up high. One at a time, that's fine. A bit sore.
Yeah, that's pretty sore.
It's a bit sore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you lie to your tummy?
Okay. All the way on my tummy?
So that was flexion, yes, all the way to your tummy.
Oh my goodness.
And this is extension of the thigh. So, the patient is unable to, you feel any tenderness?
Yeah.
Extension of the, okay. So can you turn to the side? Lie down. Sorry. Fine.
Oh.
So this is the anterior superior iliac spine, and then to your side. So this is the greater trochanter. And then below that, where this is the ischial tuberosity. And between that, between the greater trochanter and the ischial tuberosity, is the sciatic nerve that is running down. So, and way here, if you see the two dimples here, you will find the sacroiliac joint between. Okay, so you can sit up. I'm sorry, sit up. And then I would like to inspect the knee. So the bruises here.
Oh yeah, I hit my knees a lot.
Okay, so on inspection there are bruises, but there's no inflammation, no swelling. So I would like to palpate the knee. So on palpation, feel anything? So the prominent bone here is the ischial tuberosity, and this is the medial and lateral epicondyles of the femur. This is the medial and lateral condyles of the tibia and fibula. So it's the same here, the medial lateral epicondyles of the femur, the medial and lateral condyles of the tibia and the fibula. So at the back at the popliteal fossa, if there is a cyst that is called the Baker's cyst, which our patient does not have. So I'd like to do the range of motion. So flexion, extension, and abduction, moving the foot away, and then internal adduction, sorry. So the same on the other side, flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, and adduction. Okay, so I'd like to do some tests on the patient, if you can lie down. So for the varus and the valgus, checking for the any meniscal tears. So I put my hand here and my other hand here. So this is the varus, checking for the lateral meniscal tear. And then for the valgus, checking for the medial meniscal tear. So put your hand here and then push outward the foot. So the same on the other side. So this is valgus, and this is varus. So like to test for the drawer's test. Flex the knee. And then put your thumb on the tibia and the other four fingers at the back. And then if you, if you push, that is the posterior, you're checking for the posterior cruciate ligament. And then if you pull, you're checking for the anterior crucial ligament. So pushing it inward and then pushing it outward. So the same here, if you push, you're checking for the posterior cruciate ligament, and then pull, you're checking for the anterior cruciate ligament for any tears in the ligaments, okay? So for the McMurray, you
Sorry.
grasp the heel, flex the knee, and then hold the knee, and then hold the knee, and then externally rotate the heel. So if you feel any pain, that is positive for meniscal tear. So for the other side, you internally rotate the heel and push this medial aspect of the knee. So do it on the other leg also.
Sorry.
So for the Lachman's test, you raise the leg and flex the knee, and then hold the femur and the tibia, and then you push and then you pull, push and then pull, push and then pull. So do the same on the other side. Flex the knee, hold your one hand on the femur and the other on the tibia, and then you push and then you pull. So there's no tenderness. And then we go to the feet and the ankle. So if you can sit up. So, sorry. So on inspection, there's no edema, no swelling, no redness. And then I will palpate for this is the lateral malleolus, the medial, I'm sorry,
Oh, I could actually keep it up for you.
the lateral malleolus, the medial malleolus, the calcaneus, and the metatarsals and the phalanges. So there are no tenderness, no nodules, and there's no inflammation of the big toe. So that is positive for gout if ever. And then, so I would like to check for the range of motion. So flexion, extension, eversion, inversion, or you can rotate your foot, and that is examining the whole feet. So the same here, flexion, extension, eversion, inversion, and also if you move it, so that's examining the range of motion of the foot. So that concludes our musculoskeletal, and we will discuss the plan for your back pain, okay?
Okay,
So
thank you.
thank you.